YouTube, welcome to Website DIY. So now I'm gonna just uh, get this ready to. I actually want to grind down, but I think I need to take off this piece of bubble gum, or I could keep it on. But this one is crooked, the one in the front, and just every issue or situation, I don't. So I'm gonna have to basically use silicone, put a little like oil and things. I'm gonna fill these in with just clear out. I could also use tweezers in this process, and then uh, after it's embedded in silicone, I'll be able to drill holes into it. I think that's gonna be how it. This spot right here. So this is going to be a tough process, or if one tooth was a little too large. So just going to do a little size comparison with this new tooth. It's practically, um, but I was hoping to be able to, place the tooth inside of the silicone and then work on it after. It's just not something I'm really familiar with or anything. And I'll probably have to have good tweezers and stuff like that to getting used to. So I've got this, and then I've got, just some basic stuff. So I'm going to try to get some silicone and smoothing out any of these cracks and crevices on this one. Let that dry a little bit, and then on this one, I'm going to try to apply a layer of silicone. So I basically want to try to take advantage of having some of these older tubes out, and then just reusing or just using as much clear and a white silicone. Then I've got some different some moisturizer for a releasing agent. Then I got some. It could be either or. And then just extra crowns for fitting. So I think I'm gonna. So I could just get any random piece of wrapper to. All right, so yeah, just using as towards the back of the mouth and things. Doesn't have to be the whole one or two teeth. It could just be just the very next one. Um, so hopefully, um, it's just going to give or provide a really a softer cushion, basically. So some spots might be fragile and things, and also with all of this stuff that I'm trying to figure out, it may not work. So I don't want to, it's just good testing, I think, for now. But I really don't want to for dental materials and things like that. It's not going to be as good. But I just want to try to test, what I have for now. And basically just do a little bit for myself, and then just show you guys for a while. So I put the bad Q-tips to the side like that. Have this piece of plastic as a small spreader. I could just just make sure I smoothen out the surface. It's a lot more easier to handle. Hopefully I should trim off and make it a little bit thinner, but yeah, hopefully. And also for unknown reasons, I got like this piece of screen on the floor right here. I might look up for some clear plastic like mesh that I could use. All right, so this is how I kind of trimmed that a little bit. So I could basically have most of the tools in this other tray. So now I could add and need to melt this a little bit. All right, so I use like a pink lighter to press down on the hot plastic. Need to clean this up a little bit, maybe melt it a little bit more. All right, so for some reason that's how it went. Got it really flat and skinny. All right, so I trimmed up some of the edges, so I put those right there. Then now add the silicone. All right, so there was enough silicone in there. Kind of used a little too much, but let's just go ahead and I'm probably going to start with the barrier side first. I'm going to actually remove these barriers and then add some of the releasing agent on the curved side. And yeah, so I got just a bunch of silicone down in there. Okay, so I got these these barriers kind of prepped up. So I'm going to work on one side at a time. So that I got this little small spatula situated, and basically I want to try to put it into a little bit of the channel. I can actually like, but there's like a tooth kind of like in the way. It's in between and things, but yeah, the small spatula seems to be okay. I might even consider um just filling up and creating a thick um layer, I will call it. And I can always try to trim it up some way after. So let me go ahead and spread this around a little bit so you guys can kind of also use this small spatula to kind of smoothen out, as I mentioned, the main glob. So that's a thick layer of cushion. And I guess right now I think I'm gonna add the barrier. Hopefully these things can. So the channel on this was perfect. The barrier actually felt like it snapped in. Now I could have a good, barrier, I'll call it, to push the silicone up against. All right, so I put the other side of the barrier. This silicone is starting to dry. It dries in 30 minutes, I think, and stuff. So it's in a decent position. So I'm going to try to spread the silicone on. And then the last part, it's going to be a tough one, but I think I should embed some of these false teeth. But yeah, the spatula. I think I learned how to line up the teeth right. There's like a channel right in the middle of the tooth, so that actually lines up with the rest of the teeth. It just so different teeth using a different tooth, and then probably have to. But yeah, the spatula really conformed, and maybe I should just leave this as is. So I use the spatula from up top, just leveling things out, and it works pretty nicely. And then just getting everything as straight and pushed in position. It's going to try to soften up eventually, but that's a pretty decent straight line, I guess. There's no real major globs. Uh, so the thing is, I can embed some of these smaller false teeth, I would think. think I should try something like that. So yeah, besides the silicone, I'm gonna have epoxy. And all right, so this was a little bit of a gamble, but I added some more to actually get where the missing teeth are. I'm gonna just make a full mold with this clear silicone and things like that, where the barrier and the missing teeth actually are. Just going to do it this time just because it's just a test, I would think. Um, and hopefully, yeah, so there was a quite a larger gap here and there. There's still a gap on this side of the barrier. Let me try to smoothen things out. All right, so just applied a little bit more because it was, so yeah, just on this test, I think, uh, I just want to, just basically apply as much as I can to learn from for the next one. So I'm putting this stuff where, you know, any gaps are for one, and just going to just have this as uh, another mold, I would think. But just with the spatula, just really trying to, uh, you know, carve much detail. I think it's gonna be. It's a little bit tough just because it gets a little sticky or even rubber. But you guys kind of see the finished work for now. It's basically a soft cushion, hopefully, things like that, to to actually have things. It does. It's I mean it's not as good as like a casting or molding press type of machine. That definitely would be useful if I could make, you know, like a box for something like this, and then I could just press in or, just add where I need things to actually seat and things like that would be useful. It does take a little bit more of an idea and things to actually make something like that. At this point is which side of the mold would be best and things, and you know, sometimes my doubts pointed me to something different, and then um, yeah, this turned out pretty good. I think I kind of can relax a little bit and not worry too much. And these popsicle sticks to kind of press the barriers in. They were especially on one side, right before it finishes up fully drying. I'm going to let it dry for a day or two. So what I'm going to end up with, I could basically use this mold for more of these, just to try different stages. Uh, after, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. If something like if it actually fits, if it works right. I just basically guessed on some of these missing teeth and things like that. Maybe I could look back onto the good mold, uh, and then uh, is a real tough thing. And then all I would need to do is like seal it in like some, well, actually grind down and make things shape. Certain like epoxy, I think, or even a mesh or epoxy and things.